G'day peeps, my name is Scribbs and welcome back to Starry Flowers. I'm not leaving it, don't worry. I'm not gonna abandon this series like I did once before. We are in here till the very end. And in the last episode, we made a little bit of progress. I don't know exactly how long the game is or how far we're actually into it, but I do know that we are just entering a new chapter after we went on another date with Piste. Is that his name? Oh god, I'm so bad with names, I'm so sorry. But yeah, nothing not safe for work happened. I just want to state that. Nothing sexual in any sort of way took place, even though that may have been insinuated. Nothing happened, children. I promise. But yeah, we basically fell asleep on our date and we're waking up here as Periwinkle. Periwinkle wakes up in his bed the next morning, alone. Oh, okay. Piste. No response, no evidence of him either. None of his clothes were laying about, no blankets out of place. Oh, maybe he just dropped me off at home. That would be the most gentlemanly thing to do, I guess. I'm wearing pajamas, though I don't remember changing into them. In fact, I don't remember coming home at all. Did I fall asleep then? Oh, I vaguely remember being carried, but... He pauses, and then suddenly throws the covers off himself and leaps off the bed. He truly isn't here? And he changed my clothes. Was I conscious for that? I fell asleep before. I told you nothing not safe for work happened. Periwinkle paces around the room, desperately running through the events of the previous night. We were on our way here. We stopped to rest, but it was so comfortable that This is unheard of. This is the first time something like this has ever happened. We had such a nice day together. The perfect date, really. It should have ended with a bang. Literally, figuratively. Normally it would have. We both very much wanted it to. So how could I have let myself fall asleep like that? No, there's no need to panic. I simply lost track of time. We had been walking around all day. Of course I would be worn out by the end of it. I should have accounted for that. Simple mistake. One that completely nullified all the tension I'd so gradually built up. Had I gotten lost in the performance then? The romantic flourish meant only to heighten the intensity of the passionate night to come. It's role play, pretend. The only thing genuine about it is the lust that it masks. For me to have reached a point of satisfaction before the intended finale would mean it was just a legitimate romantic date. Periwinkle stops in his tracks, he turns back towards his bed and crawls under the covers, wrapping himself up in them. Have I ever gone on one of those before? I mean, I certainly don't expect every date to end in a sexual encounter. Sometimes the partner just isn't ready or something comes up, but it isn't that the sex was owed. It's that we never even reached the bedroom. That's never happened. The thought sinks in. Periwinkle slowly unwraps himself from his blankets and sits up in the bed. I'm overreacting. Yes, I'm merely embarrassed that I had been carried home and tucked into bed to be taken care of like that. Usually I'm the one who takes care of things. Now I just feel utterly ridiculous. Something isn't right here. There has to be an explanation. Oh, Periwinkle, are you actually finally tossing away your one-night standish ways and you're actually falling in love? That would be a lovely, or I do assume that's the direction this game is taking, but that would be adorable. It's safe to admit at this point that I am very sensitive to matters that involve Piste, but where did that begin? It could have been started just the other day. Things were relatively normal, though I was seeing him quite often, more so than other partners in the past. This has progressed too far beyond casual. What could have caused this? He thinks for a moment before walking out of his bedroom with purposeful strides. Going immediately to the bookcase, he tosses a few things aside and pulls down the box of his favorite perfumes. Then he carefully extracts the bottle filled with pale pink liquid. You must have been the culprit. The aphrodisiac, no, the love potion. I wanted to see Piste's reaction when I called it that. An inconsequential little joke, but it kept coming up. There must have been something to it. Could the peach blossoms yesterday have further amplified its effects? Yes, it all makes sense now. Whether it be by my own magic or by some kind of chain reaction with Piste's, I've somehow unintentionally created a scent that invokes romantic obsession in witches. There's research to be done. I have to put an end to these artificially inspired feelings. I'll create an anti-aphrodisiac then, something to cancel out its effects. At which point, everything will go back to normal. There's no problem at all. Oh, Periwinkle, you've reached the first stage. Denial. Don't worry, you're gonna have to fight it through a few more stages before you'll get there, but oh my god, this game's gonna be so long, isn't it? if this is only stage 1. Convinced by his new theory, Periwinkle dresses himself and heads out to find a solution. Oh boy. Periwinkle, how long is this game gonna be? How long is this whole ordeal gonna be? I do not know, but let's just go with this one. Okay, what is this place? What is this? This isn't like Asparagus or whatever her name was place. I head directly to the potion supply shop, just a few blocks away. It's brimming with reference materials, though I usually only come to purchase magic containers, the vials to hold my perfumes. Navigating their shelves, a spell of manuals and encyclopedias, I find myself somewhat overwhelmed. But soon the shopkeeper comes to my aid. Good morning, Periwinkle, and what might you be looking for today? New bottles, a book, or perhaps moi? Amaretti, it's lovely to see you, but I'm strictly here for business. Playing the professional card today, I see. Your loss. Few witches have ever come close to my level of flirty energy, but Amaretti is one of them. We may have fooled around at a party once or twice, but who's to say? Jesus Christ, Perry, what's your count? As much as her company would be a welcome distraction, I'm afraid removing my self-inflicted curse takes priority. There is actually something you could help me with, but first, would you happen to know anything about aphrodisiacs? Ah, aphrodisiacs, magic that sways the heart, stimulates the libido. They do end up being classified as dark magic because of the manipulative aspects, but a few popular spellbooks happen to contain instructions for consensual usage. Is that what you've been looking for? Rather, assuming those books also contain instructions for canceling the effects. Did something go wrong in the bedroom? You can tell me. Nothing to get embarrassed about. Oh, imagine the fucking... I don't know. Would it be problems or would it be like solutions if people could just like have a love potion that they could like consensually share? Like, oh, you know, I feel like the spark isn't really there anymore, so let's just both inhale this potion and then we'll be all back to normal. God, magic would make so much easier or more complicated. Who'd know? No, it's much more complicated than that. Which spellbooks did you say I could find this information in? I'd like to look through them if possible. You're lying to me, aren't you? You just want to learn these spells to spice things up in the bedroom. Not everything is related to sex, Emery. Love, then. No, you aren't the type. Come on, why won't you just tell me? I can't help you if you don't give up any details. All I want to know is whether or not aphrodisiac-induced feelings of romantic love can be nullified. The details aren't important. So it is love. Why does she insist on wasting my time? A large resounding thud from down the aisle startles both Amaretti and Periwinkle. The pair turns to see a much shorter witch, standing there, fuming. Ugh, if I have to listen to you two ignoramuses babble on for another second, I'm gonna lose it. Was another customer here? How long have they been listening? First off, stop conflating aphrodisiacs and love potions. They're entirely separate categories. A witch who sells potion supplies should at least know that much. You sell a whole book about it right here. She gestures to the thick tome she had slammed onto the floor at the beginning of her outburst. Ah, so that's the one I was thinking of. You'll find everything you need to know about canceling your love spell in there, Periwinkle. No, you won't! He won't? Because it's not a freaking love spell to begin with! I find it majorly unlikely someone's been able to pull off a spell like that when I've been trying for literally years. Ah, well, thank you. That certainly answers my question. Since you're familiar with these things, I must ask, if not a love spell, could it have been a side effect of some other type of magic? Ha! A side effect. Oh god, placebo effect is more like it, in which case, all you'd need to do is stop thinking about it and it'd go away, dumbass. Oh, really? That saves me so much trouble. Thanks for the advice. If that shopkeeper would have done her research. The witch's angry shouts faded into placated mumbles as she storms out of the shop. Who was that? Was that the, like, orange-haired witch from, like, one of the last games, like Syrup and the Ultimate Sweet? Like, the one that has the cat? I don't remember. You handled that so well. You should work in retail. Oh, so I'm the one in need of a new career now, after that exchange. Amaretti gives a nervous laugh and steps away to return the spellbook to its proper shelf. After bidding her farewell, Periwinkle exits the store to begin his short walk home. God, living in like a witchy world, just going around buying potions and stuff. It's like a gay dream. A placebo. Of course it was just placebo. I should have thought of it sooner. There was never any cause for alarm. It's just like before. It has nothing to do with Piste. He just happens to be the one my mind is fixating on right now. It's precisely as that temperamental little witch said. If I stop thinking about him, the problem will resolve on its own. And so, I must take a few days to focus on myself. Periwinkle, I don't know, I don't want to like critique you or anything, but I don't think you need to focus more on yourself. I'm just saying that you got quite the ego. At least until I can find a way out of this odd state I've ended up in. Whatever works, whatever floats your boat, Periwinkle. Operation Stop Thinking About Piste, Day 1. Let's see, the optimal distracting task would be work, of course. Perhaps it could begin with a transforming aroma I thought of yesterday. But that idea came about during our date. I should avoid any and all memories tied to him at the moment. This may prove more difficult than I anticipated. No matter, I'll warm up with a nice bergamot scent for now. What's bergamot? Periwinkle retrieves a few empty vials from his box of perfume supplies and readies his wand. But instead of the bright green drops he expected, what comes out is a familiar pale pink. Peach! Haha, this isn't right at all. Oh, it's messing with your emotions, messing with your magic, Periwinkle. He seals the bottle and moves on to the next, which, much to his dismay, yields the same result. Okay, magic is tied to emotions. I mustn't get frustrated. I just have to focus. Deep breaths. It never helps to enforce it. Just imagine the desired scent, and he tries for a third time. And yet, Peach again! Oh, this is a waste of supplies. So much for my attempt at diligence. If I can't conjure other scents, I'll have to find something else to occupy my time. Also, it's like really detrimental to your work, isn't it? Or shouldn't you be more worried about that, Perry? Housework. I can finally get some chores done around here. Nothing could possibly distract me from finishing them today. They are the distraction. Oh, that's right. I still had laundry to put away, didn't I? You have a lot. You need to clean your room, Perry. It's a mess. Periwinkle walks into his bedroom to face a pile of clothes that he hadn't folded yet. Whenever I tell myself I'll get to it later, I tend to leave it for days. But the single large pile he expected wasn't there. Instead, it was split in two. With one half already neatly folded. I don't remember making this much progress. No, Piste did this, didn't he? When he came to pick me up yesterday? Oh, curses. He's too good. I can't touch this right now. Periwinkle covers the piles of neatly folded clothes with the rest of the unfolded ones in retaliation. There, one less reminder to worry about. I'm gonna have to think about something else to do. Really, holy crap, the association is strong with this one. So far, my attempts at forgetting about Piste have been completely futile. But that's perfectly fine. No one said it was gonna be easy. Ironically, the more you tell yourself not to think of something, the more your mind will be enticed by it. I mustn't let this consume me. I have to find a way to relax. A nice bath should help calm my nerves. How could Piste... Has Piste put something in the bathroom or something? Later that evening. I'm feeling so refreshed. I could do just about anything. I should try cooking for myself tonight. Now there's a task that'll require my full attention. Periwinkle opens up the fridge for ideas. A pint of milk, a few cups of yogurt, some eggs, whipped cream. That is a lot of dairy. There isn't much in the way of meals here, is there? Oh, this is why I never cook. But I could try making an omelet. Breakfast for dinner. Oh, what fun. Periwinkle cheerfully reaches for the eggs, then pauses. Actually, can I cook without magic? He turns to face the stove. This burner is the kind you'd light with a spell. I'm far too nervous. My magic is gonna come out smelling like peaches again. Periwinkle slams the fridge shut. Forget cooking. What was I thinking? I'm not cut out to be a chef. Piste, on the other hand. No, I'm thinking of him in his delightfully domestic context that's especially banned. No matter how much I want to eat his cooking now, he's obviously tried to be so good at it. This is depressing. I'm already right back to where I started. Let's just order takeout. What is Witch World takeout like? Periwinkle goes to bed that night utterly incapable of forgetting about Piste. Operation seriously do not think about that boy. Day 2. I wonder if it's the same thing for Piste, you know. I hope it is. Would be cooler if this whole thing was like, 2 ways. I've tried working, I've tried doing chores, I've even tried to cook, all miserable failures. That's why today I'm taking drastic measures. Complete escapism. Oh, now you're talking my jam. Play a good video game, watch a movie, Netflix. I'm returning to my roots. I'll reread one of my favorite series. If nothing else, it should make for a nice source of inspiration. Periwinkle pulls out volume 1 of a certain manga from his bookshelf. Fabric of Our Love. How many years has it been? The dresses were always drawn so beautifully in this series. I still think of them from time to time. I actually don't own a lot of manga. I know people might think that I'm like the type of person who would own a lot of manga, but I actually don't. I actually don't even know if I own any manga. The only thing that I have that's slightly comic-ish is like the Scott Pilgrim books. It's the story of a girl who's fallen for a handsome prince. Standard fare for the types of manga I read. Her mother is a talented seamstress who designs all sorts of dazzling gowns for her to wear, and when the prince sees her in one, he becomes smitten with her. At first she's in heaven. This is the prince of her dreams, but she soon wonders if the prince is only attracted to the dresses, the glamour, and not the poor girl underneath. Until the prince reveals... I shouldn't spoil it, the ending is too sweet. After admiring the cover art for a while, Periwinkle finally opens the book and begins to read. Just as lovely as I remember, such delicate line work. I wouldn't blame that prince for noticing the dresses before the girl. They really are beautiful. Come to think of it, the way this prince is drawn. Yeah, I was about to say, so you're gonna try to escape from like your personal love drama by reading love drama? Isn't that like the one thing you do with manga? You sort of put yourself in that same situation. Not the best idea. His short, fluffy hair, his gentle features remind me of... Periwinkle closes the book in panic. That was dangerous. I can't even think his name. There's even a later chapter where he's dressed in servant's clothing. Oh, there's too many parallels. Periwinkle rolls across his bed and slides the book back into its place on the shelf. This isn't fair. How can one of my most beloved series be off limits in my time of need? He scans through the different titles once more before landing on a 12-volume series. I don't remember this one as clearly, but as an all-girls story, it should be safe. Periwinkle pulls the new book from his shelf and quietly immerses himself in the fictional world. Oh, did it actually work? Before I knew it, I'd finished reading all 12 volumes. The whole day had flown right by. Oof. It takes a special type of person to not feel garbage after after doing nothing the whole day of just reading manga. I cannot do that. I don't know why. I cannot. I couldn't help but keep turning the pages. The story was so much more than I remembered. The protagonist was nothing to write home about but her childhood friend? What a moving character arc. She's very charismatic from the start, the kind of person you think has it all figured out, but he couldn't be more wrong. Over the course of the series, she goes through so many love interests. Back in the day, I'd assumed it was because the author couldn't make up their mind. But reading it all at once, it must have been planned from the beginning. These doomed relationships are merely self-sabotage, a distraction from pursuing her one true love. Ooh. She never realizes the obvious answer until the very end. And what an emotional finale. You're not seeing any parallels here? When she finally confesses and the two girls share their first kiss. Ah, the fireworks. Could anything be more romantic? Her tears of happiness, finally being honest with herself and with her best friend. How lovely. The well of loneliness, that is her character. God damn it, I skipped the text, I'm so sorry. Ending the story any other way would have been an injustice. She deserves the world. I own this author's follow-up series as well, don't I? Thought I'd get some snacks and start searching for it. I can't resist diving in right away. Do you have which Amazon? Operation Escape Reality, Day 3. Periwinkle continued to read. And read. And read. Until he heard a knock at his door. Piste? No, that isn't his knock. Oh wait, I was trying to forget about him. Though I suppose it means I was successful for a while. I even forgot that I was avoiding something to begin with. When he opens the door, Periwinkle is greeted by a small crowd of friends and acquaintances. Periwinkle! Himbo witch! Periwinkle! Get dressed! We're hitting the clubs! Wow, the whole cavalry's arrived. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to decline. Tonight isn't gonna work for me. What? But no one's seen you in ages. You haven't abandoned us for a new scene, have you? Oh, nothing like that. I've just been a little preoccupied. I'm taking some time to myself at the moment. Nothing's wrong with a little self-care, but are you sure you don't want to come out and enjoy the nightlife? I don't know. I've fallen so far behind on my work. Choosing work over getting laid. Now I know something's up with you. How offensive. I have more going on than just going out and flirting with everyone I meet. Of course. I do appreciate the invitation, though. Thank you for inviting me. We just had to come and make sure you were still alive. The clubs are lonely without you. I'll have to make my grand return some other time then. Have a lovely evening. The group waves goodbye and disappears into the night. I don't know why you couldn't have gone out. I mean, probably don't go out and smooch a lot of people. Yeah, if it's an exclusive like smooching invitation, you should have it's probably good that you said no for now. It's been a while since I've had to turn them down. Periwinkle leans his back against the door and sighs. I'm definitely not in any state to go clubbing right now. No matter how much it warms my heart to know that I'm missed, I won't be making the same mistake as the other night. I can't go recklessly diving into the comforting arms of another as long as my mind is still hung up on Piste. That's actually, I will say, I'll actually give some respect to Periwinkle for that one. It is nice to sort of take another person's feelings into consideration when it's like, I know I have a hang up on this person, so it wouldn't really be right for me to put them through that. That's nice. You're a good person, Perry. But how long will I remain in this state? Shutting myself away? Binge reading comics? These were emergency measures. I can't avoid the outside world forever. In any case, shouldn't Piste be returning here at some point? From where we left off, I'd have expected him to come knocking as soon as possible. And yet it's been 3 full days now, hasn't it? How long could he have possibly abstained from my touch? Or is something wrong? I shouldn't be thinking about any of this, but I'm beginning to feel annoyed? Confused? If he never comes back, I suppose my problem would go away on its own, but I hate the thought of that. As things are now, I'd only be haunted by thoughts of what I could have possibly done wrong. What is my plan then? Continuing to ping-pong back and forth between these extreme emotional states? He rubs his eyes in exhaustion. I'll worry about this tomorrow. Periwinkle steps back into his room and tucks himself into bed with his books. Well, I mean, 3 days isn't that long. Like, let's be honest, like if you have like a full-time job, like Piste does, it's not really surprising. But an hour later, another knock comes. This time, the pattern is unmistakable. Piste is here. Well, so he's come after all. Despite all my hard work of trying to forget, I've actually been waiting for this moment, haven't I? I don't care what these feelings might mean anymore. I'm tired of fighting them. I just want Piste. He opens the door, and sure enough, Piste is the one he finds standing there. Hi. Why, good evening, and what could you have possibly come for this hour? To, pick you up where we left off the other night, maybe? It's about time. Come in. Oh, no. 16 plus rating.
Peggy 16.
Please. Sorry, I meant to come see you again sooner. I had a few things to sort out before I... Oh, hush now. That's not where we left off at all, was it? Huh? Oh, yeah, I guess not. I'm more interested in how you got me home that night. You see, the last thing I remember was just sitting on that bench. Oh, well, I was having a hard time waking you up, so I just ended up carrying you. The whole way by yourself? I mean, having a broom to ride helped a lot. Oh yeah, that would make it easier, wouldn't it? Periwinkle closes in. We rode it together then. That was the easiest way, yes. You must have held me so close I wouldn't fall. I did, putting your hands all over me. I didn't feel you up while you were unconscious. Gives him a big kiss. I was only kidding. But you also changed my clothes. Because I thought you'd be more comfortable that way. It was an innocent gesture. I can't believe you saw my bare chest. I've already seen it. Piste suddenly lifts him by the waist and hoists him over his shoulder. Piste! Please handle me more delicately. Oh no, please, I beg you. When they reach the bed, Piste falls backwards onto it, taking Periwinkle with him. Oh my god. Okay. They pause there for a moment, laughs, fading into soft breaths. You've got to turn the light off. Well, I can't get up now. How can you be so impatient after making me wait for so long? Oh well. Oh, thank goodness, okay. Chapter 6, Longing. That was a sweet one. That was sweet. I wake to a rustling sound. My bed is empty again, but when I roll over, Piste is there, standing in front of my closet. I sit up, rubbing the sleep from my eyes. He's holding a box. As he lifts it onto the top of the shelf, its contents shift, making a clattering noise. Utterly confused as to what he's doing, I finally call out to him. Piste. Sorry, I didn't break anything, I promise. What are you doing in my closet? Huh? You said I should clean up. Oh, is there anything I won't agree to in my sleep? I'm sorry, I thought you were awake when I asked. I'll stop. It's fine, I just didn't expect to wake up to you rifling through my things. That really wasn't my intention, I just felt like organizing stuff. What do people normally do on the morning after? I guess I should have made breakfast. Oh, I want to eat pancakes. Great, I'll make some. Piste practically bolts from the room to get started on cooking. Oh, Piste. Looking around the room, he did much more than organize my closet. The books I'd been reading were all tucked back into their proper places on the bookshelf. The clothes that had been strewn across the floor or otherwise left hanging in ridiculous places now sat in the hamper waiting to be washed. Even the pile of unfolded laundry I had previously abandoned was now absent, properly folded and placed into the appropriate drawers by Piste. In a word, I'm in awe. How long had he been at this, and all while I slept? It shouldn't even be possible. I have so much more floor space than I remembered. How did he manage to do that? That is the case. If you like strew everything across the floor or just have a bunch of furniture just sitting around, you'll always be like, oh my god, I have so much more room than I thought I did. Periwinkle puts on a fresh pair of pajamas and walks out to the kitchen in a daze. Hey, pancakes are ready. That was freaking fast. Oh, is it too soon to say I love you? Please enjoy. Periwinkle takes a seat at the table and digs in. That looks freaking delicious. They are delicious. Perfectly light and fluffy, the optimal amount of syrup, and whipped cream. Everybody is so heavenly I could cry. I've never felt so emotional with food. What's this boy done to me? I was right about him being the culinary type. I didn't think I would get to try his cooking so soon. This is a surprise attack. He even... how did those get there, I have to ask. Piste, where did you get these strawberries? Oh, I saw you had some jam, so I used a little magic to change its form. Is that okay? Maybe I should have asked first. I just remembered you liked strawberries, so... Is there any limit to how thoughtful one can be? It's more than okay. This is the best breakfast I've ever had. Oh, I'm sure you're exaggerating. They're just pancakes. Careful, my sweet. If you say it like that, I'm gonna start asking you to cook every meal. Fine, you got me. They're special gourmet pancakes I can only whip up every once in a while. Lucky me. Periwinkle finishes his pancakes while Piste begins to wash the dishes. This may just be the most spoiled I've ever felt. Being with Piste is like getting caught in an endless whirlwind of positive feelings. No wonder I've become obsessed with him. This boy is dangerously kind. After these past few emotionally tumultuous days, how could I possibly turn away from his comfort? Periwinkle rests his elbows on the table, head tilted into palm as he watches Piste in his kitchen. Out of curiosity. Earlier, before I woke up, what made you ask to start cleaning my room? Oh, I noticed it was getting harder to walk around. I think I stepped on some of your clothes when I carried you in there last night, sorry. That's nothing to apologize for, it was fun. Well, anyway, I felt a little bad about it, so I figured if I'm gonna be coming back here so often, I might as well help you clean. I'm not getting ahead of myself, am I? I'm sorry, I didn't mean... No, not at all! Startled by the sudden outburst, Piste stops what he's doing. Silly Piste, you're always welcome here. Well, thank you. This is so goddamn sugary sweet. I'm gonna get diabetes by the end of it. Okay, fine. I admit it. I am stupidly, desperately, absolutely, ridiculously in love with Piste. There, I said it, or at least I'm saying it to myself. I'll accept this. Piste's incredible. Who wouldn't fall for him? I don't want anyone else anymore. I've been poisoned by this perfect boy. The problem is now that what to do about it. Weird question, but would you wanna date you? Yes. Clean the rest of your house together? Oh, fuck. Okay. It'll be more fun than it sounds, and if you get bored, we can do something else. Piste. I just thought if we did it together, you'd get a say in where everything goes, so nothing ends up getting lost. Piste. It's totally fine if you don't want me having to go through your stuff anymore. We really don't have to. Piste, it's fine. I think it's a lovely idea. Really? Yeah, in fact, I'd appreciate your help. One thing or another has always come up when I try to clean up on my own. I'm simply useless at it. Then I'll take the lead. I wanted to start with these boxes by the couch. Piste already had a plan for everything, it seemed. His energy was contagious. He was right that it would be fun. It was entertaining even just watching him go. To see him dart around the room so energetically, finding the perfect place for every little thing, he truly has a talent for organization. Meanwhile, I mostly played the role of assistant. He would ask for my input every now and again, or instruct me to play something he found somewhere across the room. He made little decisions like that so easily. If it were me, I'd get stuck on every one. But he saw everything through effortlessly. It was nothing short of amazing. And so, in a short few hours, okay, that's still, how big is your apartment? Oh, it's a house. The entire house had become neat and tidy. Okay, I think I'm satisfied. You? Don't you think you deserve to be rewarded for all your hard work? I should have seen that one coming. But no, not right now. I should actually get going. You won't stay? I promised Gumdrop I'd be back for the afternoon shifts. She'll start to worry if I don't come back soon. I'll save your reward for next time then. Piste slips on his jacket and shoes. Just before he leaves, he turns back to face Periwinkle. By the way, I was thinking, yes? There are some days my friends travel out of town for alchemy stuff. So if you ever want to drop by while I'm working on those days, I think that'd be okay. That's the most I can do right now. I'm sorry. I'll gladly take you up on that. I'd love to keep you company. Great. Alright then. Piste gives him a quick peck on the cheek before saying goodbye and walking out the door. What was all of that? It was extremely domestic. I can't be imagining things, can I? He said it was okay to come and visit him? That has to mean something, doesn't it? Periwinkle begins pacing around the room. No, let's not get carried away. This is a delicate situation. Dropping these intense feelings onto him out of nowhere may only serve to scare him off. Neither of us were looking for a committed relationship from the beginning. That was explicitly made clear early on. And yet, he isn't playing fair. My heart can't take this. Periwinkle throws himself onto the couch dramatically. There's no way I'll be able to stop thinking of him now. Even being at home has become a reminder in and of itself. Everything is nice because of him, and now I'm suffering. This is simply too much. There has to be a way for me to safely indulge in these romantic feelings. Things are fine as they are, progressing even. If I just let it run its natural course, then maybe we'll end up... Oh, what do I want out of this? To be with him forever? Me? I haven't had a single healthy long-term relationship in my entire life. Love isn't in the cards for someone like me. I can't even recognize myself right now. Okay, calm down. I'm overreacting again. Nothing has effectively changed just yet. I can't keep fighting myself on this. I'm in love with Piste. No matter what it entails, that's just the reality of it. He still isn't quite ready for me to meet his friends, which means there isn't any room to advance further at the moment. I have to be patient. At the very least, I hope accepting all this lets my magic return to normal. Ugh, I need a map. Or a nap. Jesus. Woo! This is really good writing, by the way. I'm really enjoying the writing of this. And the characters are so like, I don't know, they're just good characters, good character writing, but Nom 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 has always been very good with like writing characters and relationships and stuff like that, so I'm not surprised by that at all, but it's still just like, it's been so long since I played one of her games that it just took me aback a bit. And so, over the next few weeks, Periwinkle would come by Atelier Suites to spend time with Piste. Oh, we're actually doing this. Okay. We're pulling out all the stops. We are going with Flower Crown and Sparkles. Yes, the Flower Crown, that's my big move. he always stood there so sweetly behind the counter. And then I would just waltz in, pretending to be just another customer, browsing the aisles before meandering over to him. Others would stop in every now and again, but there was ample time in which I had him completely to myself. That's when I'd take the opportunity to chat. This place smells just like you, my sweet. I think it's the other way around. Do I smell like candy or something? Why else do you think I'd want to eat you up? Please, don't say things like that when there's customers. Customers? I don't see anyone. I know, I mean, just in general, you don't want to get turned on at work. That is not allowed. Our exchanges were mostly innocent, unlike other partners I've paid visits to in the past. He was very adamant about not fooling around at work. Not that it ever stopped me from teasing him about it. Periwinkle watches as Piste, armed with a rag and bottle of cleaner, sprays down the counter in front of him. I think I underestimated your love for cleaning. Are you making fun of me? This is my job, you know. Oh, should I pay you when you cleaned my house? I'll send you an invoice. Could I pay you in kisses? That's hard to turn down, actually. It was fun seeing him hard at work. The only side of him most people would ever be aware of. They'll never know of his lust bubbling beneath the surface, his nervous, vulnerable laughter when I said something he wanted to hear. His gentle touch, the way he can take my hand so casually and yet becomes a stuttering mess as soon as I lean over him. His sense of humor, his sincerity, his quirks, his genuine desire to always provide the exact perfect thing to make me smile. No, the depths of Piste are reserved for me alone. Well, and also, I don't know, I actually don't know how close Syrup and Piste are, so maybe they're just like actually just boss and, I don't know, hired person. Oh, Periwinkle, welcome to Atelier Sweets. Periwinkle gives a little twirl and winks to Piste, who's trying his best to stifle his laughter. How was that? Do you think it suits me? Not in the slightest. You're too elegant for a place like this. I can be cute too, can't I? You are, but you're gonna need more than that on your resume if you want the job. What? You mean I can't get through I can't get in through nepotism alone? It looks like you already have a successful career in another field. You're overqualified, so I'm gonna have to turn you down. Ah, you are right. Besides, if you were my boss, we'd probably have to stop. This game does not pull punches. Perry! I truly, truly love him. Even the days we talk about nothing at all, I wouldn't give it up for the world. And the days he would open up to me even more so. Sai can be really... Oh yeah, like Syrup. Sai can be really frustrating sometimes. But she's my best friend. I still care about her, even when she messes up. She's lucky to have you. Yeah, she really is. Anyone else would have given up on her by now. For years, she would just lock herself in her lab, making all this candy, bragging about how cool her alchemy is compared to magic. She barely even talked to anyone else, and when she did, it was to berate them over something. Who treats their own customers like that? Who do you think pays for the roof over our heads? Sorry, I didn't want to give you a bad impression of her. She's gotten much better recently. Oh, it does sound complicated. At least your patience is paying off, Seems like it. At one point, it was kind of up to a coin toss on whether I'd stay or go. A coin toss? How extreme. Not literally, it was more like whether or not she could prove she actually felt empathy. Anyway, it turns out she's not a complete monster, so here I am. Sorry, I'm still giving you a bad impression of her, aren't I? You can just disregard everything I said. Sai's great. I believe you. She must be if you put up with her with so much from her. Yeah. I treasured every moment I got to spend with Piste. Even without a label on what exactly our relationship was, I could enjoy myself all the same. In truth, I was only biding my time, but it didn't really feel like that at all. Just being near him was enough. This is really sweet. One day, he finally asked it. The question I'd been waiting to hear. Oh! Do you wanna meet my friends? Oh, that question. Yes, but are you sure? No, but it feels stupid to keep avoiding it. I started worrying it happened on accident one of these days. I don't think I would survive that, so we should just go before I change my mind. Right now? Yes, come on. Piste takes Periwinkle by the hand, and the pair hastily makes their way to Atelier Sweets. Oh, slightly out of breath, Piste stops just before they reach their destination. Okay, Give me a minute. After we rushed all the way here, don't back down now, my sweet. I know, I'm just preparing mentally. I've never done this before. I know it'll be fine, just take your time. We'll go in when you're ready. So is Periwinkle actually gonna be like part of this main part of the lore? I really hope so. And I hope to see more games from Nami in this universe, of course. And it would be lovely to like see Piste and Periwinkle just be together from like an outside perspective. After you. Are we gonna meet Sai? The meeting itself was nothing memorable. Gumdrop was incredibly human for a golem made out of candy. Syrup was about what I expected, curt, but also warm. For all its build-up, the interaction itself was anticlimactic, a quick exchange of pleasantries before the candy alchemist called her golem back downstairs. It didn't feel real. Had I acted normal? Come across as my usual self? It had only just happened, but it's already a blur. I held Piste's hand in the end. I remember that. He'd been so nervous I could practically hear his heart beating out of his chest. I hadn't understood just how stressful it would be for him. I felt guilty at putting him through it, although the idea was his to begin with. He decided to go through that for himself or for me. The seemingly mundane interaction that meant so much more for the both of us. Piste? Sorry, I'm okay. I feel stupid having made such a big deal of it. Of course it all turned out just fine. It was important to you. We all get worked up over things we care about, don't we? Are you including yourself in that? You seem like you always have it together. Oh, am I hiding it that well? Anyway, we can go. How's he gonna react when he discovers what a mess I've been? That is a good question. Piste walks me home and promises to return later tonight. Things will move forward from there, won't they? Or is it too soon? Maybe it's too much for one day. I don't want to add to his stress. Why is this so difficult? His perception of me could be completely destroyed, tarnished. But that's a risk worth taking, isn't it? Oh, laying on the floor in the middle of the wait. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna have to cut it here. I'm sorry. I know. It's literally right up to like a big thing, obviously. I can feel the build-up. I can feel the tension in the air. But yeah, I gotta leave it off here because I still feel like there's enough like gameplay left of the game from what I've seen by just like sort of looking at the length of a walkthrough that there's enough for one last episode. So yes, in the next episode, we will have the conclusion of this entire story. It is definitely by far, I think, the longest Nami game I've ever played and that I think she has ever made. And it's really good so far. The dialogue is really good. It's obviously approaching, like, what could you say, the more mature direction in comparison to all our other games, which were very just giddy and sweet. This one at least sort of feels a little bit more adult catered at least. And I'm really enjoying this. So I'll just be sitting here playing this right away, but you guys will have to wait till the next episode till you get that. So anyways, please remember to leave a like down below because it let me know what pivots to your interest. Remember to hit that subscribe button as well because it keeps me going even when the going does get tough. Thank you all so much for watching, and I catch you all in the next one. Peace.